am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber from Jane Cosplay, and today we are back at you guys with The Boys, episode 6, season 2.
We're almost done with season 2, and as far as we know, season 3 is supposed to come out either by the end of 2021, or if we're unlucky, during 2022, so we'll have to wait for it, and we're not ready.
No.
But anyway, last episode, Stormfront and Homelander got it on.
Got it on, yeah.
Yeah, he fantasized about killing a bunch of innocents, and it freaked him out. It freaked him out because he was losing the crowd. It was not he was not happy, so he asked for her help. She managed in a couple of hours to raise points for him. So people supported him a little bit more right after she got involved.
She's good at it.
He loved it.
Really?
He loved it so much that they got it on, and they love violence, and they love to be violent with one another, and it seems like they're a couple perfect for each other.
Indeed.
We learned last episode because Butcher was going to give up. He was going to let himself die somewhere, probably. Mm-hmm. And we found out that he had a little brother called Lenny that looked a lot like Huey.
Yep.
And it's not like Huey used that, but it turned out that, when they were attacked by Black Noir, the fact that Huey and everyone else were in danger pushed Butcher to get back on his feet and keep fighting, so that was pretty cool.
He needs to protect his canary, so that's cute.
Yes. So, and Kimiko is doing dangerous jobs, acting like a monster and trying to let off some steam, but Frenchie is not liking it, and she's not taking his help, so it's not going any good. Yeah. So I said we jump in this episode and see how everyone reacts to this and what they do next.
True. It's true that May wants to take down Homelander with the Thief's help too.
Yes. So let's see if they do something this episode. Let's go. Right.
Oh my gosh, guys.
Okay.
When we first thought about what happened to her and why she wasn't aging, I suggest that maybe she was one of the first soup, like Soldier Boy in the World War.
The first soup, the actual first one. So it would support the theory that Compound V, in its first stages, stopped people from aging completely. So then we have a bunch of superheroes who didn't die, who basically stayed young forever. That would explain Jensen in season 3.
Yeah.
So
now they create multiple versions of the Compound V, and it is stable with kids, but not with adults.
Which surprised me because when they got to the institute, my thought was that exactly that. Maybe they're trying to give Compound V to adults and stuff. And then I was like, but they did it with Kimiko, and they did it with a lot of terrorists, so that would explain, considering what they said, it just means that there's a bunch of people with whom it did not work.
Yeah.
And it's just that we never saw those.
True.
So Kimiko is like an exception, and her brother an exception, because they survived it, but a lot of people are not surviving it, and they don't want to take that chance. They want to know for sure that it's going to work. Because you get supporters and people who,
it's fine.
They want to have people who support the cause and already love Vought and what they want to do, and give them the V instead of giving it to kids and hoping that in the future they can get them on their side, because who knows how they're going to be raised.
And it's take so long to raise a child and be waiting for him to be grown enough to understand what's going on.
It's a way to do it, but even then, there's only so much you can do.
Technically, they try to do it with Homelander by raising the child in a lab, and they create a psychopath.
Yeah, but then that's how they knew that the babies that get V should stay with their families. But if they stay with their families, Vought doesn't control them. So we've got a generation of kids, and we still do have babies that get shot with Vought when they're kids. We saw them in the hospital, and we still have a few kids who get the V, but then it doesn't go fast enough for them to create their army like they said. So basically, if we hard to believe everything that Stormfront said, the company's goal would be to basically finish the job that was started in World War II, but to like a bigger scale.
They want to create the supreme human race, like
Yeah.
their own version of the Aryan race. And
Exactly.
Homelander is the perfect embodiment for it, like blonde hair, blue eyes, and super strong stuff.
It would make sense if he was literally raised by Vought in the lab and stuff like that. Would make sense that he represents exactly what they want to create. And then when it comes to the humans that are left behind, either they want to get rid of the weak, like every weak person that's out there, so get rid of every people that's ill, the handicapped, the Stormfront is racist. I don't know if the company is racist, but the way she says it, it could also mean race, you know, eliminating the minorities
Everything
and
is
stuff.
not a soup, yeah.
Exactly. Well, then I don't know if their goal is to only have a world full of superheroes. Like, I don't know if they want to keep a few humans, but if they keep humans, I guess, if we are to listen to what she said, the humans that would be left behind would be the strong white men, you know, like the typical race that racists associate with strength and power. If we follow what Stormfront has said, because she is racist, she could be turning it into a race thing when Vought is not racist. Because I mean, Stan Edgar is not white.
No, but this is just so dumb, to be honest.
And I mean, like, I know that Vought has evolved ever since, but then if that was part of the mentality behind Vought to begin with, it's just it's scary to know what they managed to do and where they want it to go. Like, look at Stormfront is not a nice person at all, and she likes violence and she's not afraid to use it, and she goes out and kills people because of the way she thinks, you know, the way she was raised and what she believes is the right thing. So imagine a company that just follows that.
Yeah.
That's World War II all over again. So I don't know how Vought has evolved ever since. And like I said, I don't know if the ultimate goal is to eliminate, you know, the people that she described. But then if the end game is still to create, you know, a strong race of superheroes and use them as an army to rid the world of the weak and control it, that's still very terrifying. Okay.
I want to talk real fast about Homelander's reaction and then when she told him the truth. It wasn't a good one, but it was still the truth. And she really meant those words like, I love you. And even though that Homelander is a psychopath and he does terrible things,
Well,
I am a bit glad that he's
found someone.
he heard those words and from someone who really meant it.
It looks
because
like
when he heard it from Madeline earlier in season 1, she was lying, she was scared of him, and she was just manipulating him to her own gain.
It looks like he's fallen in love with Stormfront, which is crazy. But
cute and crazy.
But yeah, it's, I mean, if we like Homelander, it's cute. If we fear Homelander, it's scary. And if we hate Homelander, it's just a footnote in the show. But
I mean, we can understand where he comes from. We don't excuse what he's done.
He's wanted love.
Just like with the Deep, we understood why he did what he did. We don't excuse it.
Yeah, definitely.
We grown attached to his character because he's just so funny on screen. But with Homelander, he's someone who doesn't know how to love, be loved, and just be with someone. And he's in need of someone who loves him truly.
Just looking at
and
how...
sadly, it's with Stormfront. Sorry, I'm speaking!
Just looking at how he's been handling the crowds. Like, he wants to be loved. He's always wanted to be loved. And when he lost that last episode, he freaked out. And now he's got a girl who comes to him and is telling him that he's the perfect specimen of a man, that he's like, that she loves him wholly, and it feels right and it feels true. It feels like the truth. So yeah, he's glad because that's all he's ever wanted. And when she told him that he needed an army, not an army of fans, but an actual army to follow him, she was kind of grooming him a little bit for this. But he took it the wrong way because he likes to be loved. He wants people to love him. So
well, considering that she's from 1919, he's technically a child with her. So yes, she's grooming him.
Well, you know, it's always been about that with Homelander. Mommy issues and shit. But
well, now he found the perfect mommy for him.
no, but for her, it would represent the perfect human. You know, the right skin color, the right, body built, the power, what he represents, and just who he is as a legend slash model to everyone else. And that's exactly what she would support if she was born in, like you said, in 1919, and she was a supporter of the Nazis and shit. Like, that's exactly what she was supporting, like this specimen.
But didn't people compare, for example, Superman or even Captain America, like the embodiment of the perfect human being?
Well, that's what you want. That's what superheroes are supposed to be. They're supposed to represent something that is unobtainable because no one can truly be like that. Yet you wish you could become like that. They give you dreams of what ifs, and they motivate you to try harder. So that's always been superheroes, and Homelander just it's just that with Homelander it's been twisted into something bad. Anyway.
I'm sadly glad that we finally learned what happened with Frenchie, Mallory, and Lamplighter.
It makes a lot of sense with how he's been reacting with Kimiko, and for Kimiko to see him lose it. I'm glad that we had a moment of her, being shocked by how he reacted, because this is exactly what she's going through. So that proves to her that he knows what's happening with her and her feelings and her guilt. And he's twisting it as, he tried to save her in order to save one person to alleviate the guilt a little bit. I think there's that, and there's also the fact that he's seen himself go down that path, and he doesn't want her to also go down that path. So he's trying to even more to save her from the guilt and the anger, because he knows that it's not going to help anyone. But he's making a lot of work on himself, and I think she also has a lot of work to do. And if I'm to trust the face that she made when he said, "I'm going to leave you alone," I don't think she wants to be left alone. She wants him by her side. So they both need to do some work on their feelings and let it out in a healthy way in order to move on. But what he did this episode was very similar to what Kimiko and Butcher have been doing. So destroying himself and, becoming violent and finding this to be the escape needed for your anger and your guilt and your sadness to just flee a little bit. So it's easier to breathe for a while.
Yeah.
It's just self-destructive as fuck.
When we learned that Lamplighter wanted to burn alive Mallory, and in the end he burned something way worse, I thought that by trying to kill Mallory wasn't better. Well, if it wasn't our grandchildren,
Not better, but he had a reason for Mallory, because she was manipulating him. The boys were manipulating him to destroy Vought. So he was spying on them, and they had something against him. So it's not better, but at least he had a reason. There she made her choices, and she chose to be, in that situation, and she knew the risks. But the kids did not. The kids were complete innocents. So we know he's not above killing people. He did it with one of the subjects because he's been asked to do it. But when it comes to truly innocent people, kids, he feels bad about it, and that gives him layers, and that also might give us an ally in the future. He saved them. He literally could have, given them to Stormfront, and he didn't. So, and I'm actually happy because I know the actor too, so I wouldn't be mad if he sticked around.
Do you think that maybe because of what happened, he decided to retire 5 years in the future?
Could definitely be it. I don't know if it's because I don't know what happened to him after, but maybe it affected his performance. Maybe once, the truth was out. I don't know, like, he never told Vought about what happened. So it's not like they feared that the truth would come out like they did with Deep. It's not like they feared the repercussions of the truth. They didn't know about it. So maybe he left because he couldn't do this shit anymore, or maybe they fired him because he wasn't, at the top of his game.
Performing anymore?
Yeah. Like A-Train. So we'll see, but I mean, just like Starlight, it's a good thing that they found a superhero who may be willing to do something to alleviate the guilt.
Against an army of 1,000,000 soup, they're gonna need some help.
Well, it's not necessarily the soups they have to go against. It's, Vought as a company, they are the ones doing that. Like I can't say I completely blame the ones that were locked up for going crazy when they got out. You know, they were forced to stay in there, and the V, like he said, the V can turn some of them into psychopaths and into, you know, unstable people. So I don't know if that's what's happening with the girl who can just make heads explode.
Probably,
but
yeah.
I mean, it's not her fault if that's what happened. You know, it's the company who did that to her. And speaking of which, you know, I don't think she's safe enough to have around, but then her power definitely looks like the one that killed the
So then
CIA.
what happened? Because they wouldn't let her out.
Maybe they
she's
did.
So dangerous.
Maybe they did. Maybe they tested her somewhere. I don't know. Or she escaped. But then why would she kill the CIA girl? Sure. Or then, like, they said Stormlight was the one who killed her. I don't know if her power can do something like that, but we'll see.
No.
She's important, though. Like, we saw her at the end,
It really looked like the new girl's power. Not like we saw with Stormfront.
We'll see. Maybe they got her. They took her out to do something just to see if she could help or anything. Like, I'm guessing we will see a flashback of what actually happened, or we'll learn about it. But it looks like it's her who did it. So,
I want to talk really fast about Queen Maeve and her girlfriend, about the way she reacted to the video, because
I'm not surprised.
It's true that if you know that someone that you love didn't react when they could have reacted to save people, that would be a shock, and you might be a bit terrified or, I don't know, disgusted.
But then the girlfriend, what's her name?
Elena.
Anyway, her, the girlfriend, she doesn't truly know what Homelander is capable of. All she knows is what Maeve has told her. So, and before, when she told her, you know, that Homelander was dangerous and stuff, she kind of brushed it off. She doesn't know how bad he can be. So to see it for the first time, it shocks her. And then to see that Maeve didn't do shit, it shocks her even more, because she's like, what did you turn into? But I was saying it's more complicated than just her not standing up to Homelander. You know, she tried, but it's not like she could do anything. She can't fly. If he had chosen to leave her in there,
she would have been dead too, because she's strong, but she's not invincible. She literally broke her arm trying to stop a train.
Well, that's the thing. She can't just do whatever the hell she wants, because Homelander is stronger and he's done worse. You know, he has killed people he was not supposed to kill, and he has attacked people he wasn't supposed to attack. And we've seen him with Stormfront. We know what he's capable of. He scares us. So yeah, and we're not in the show, but Maeve is, and she, you know, she's afraid that if she doesn't follow Homelander, that what he's gonna do after is gonna be worse to her, to the victims, or to her loved ones.
Yeah.
So I understand she's got massive PTSD when it comes to Homelander. Like, she's just scared, but the girlfriend doesn't know what that means to be scared of Homelander. All she knows is what Maeve has told her, and I don't think it's the whole truth. So, but I'm glad that Maeve, like, I'm proud of her for saying that she would be willing to show that video to CNN, because it also throws her under the bus. She doesn't give a shit. She'd rather, you know, have her girlfriend be safe and her be free of Homelander than to just keep doing what he wants and let him torture her the way he's doing.
Yeah.
It's a very sticky situation.
I want to talk to you about something. When we
just talk about it. That's the third time you've been saying, I want to talk about something real quick.
Let's talk about it, guys. Okay, but I had this crazy idea when we saw you in the hospital with the crazy bonding with Starlight.
No, that's the last thing I
with
want.
Starlight and Butcher, and I had this crazy idea that what if, while he was in the hospital, people gave him Compound V.
Why?
I don't know.
It's a normal hospital. Like, they would just do this to anyone.
They're everywhere, you know, and this could be...
I don't think it would happen. No, I don't think they would do it like that for no reason.
No, but it's...
Why would they do it? Especially to an adult like that. It's not like he's not in the eye.
Yeah, I know that the Compound V is not stabilized yet.
No, but there's absolutely no point.
It made me think about The Vampire Diaries, when one of the characters was in the hospital, and because she was technically dying or in the way of death, basically.
He's not dying though. No. And like, who would make that choice for him? Absolutely no one. Like, it's not like Starlight would decide, I'm gonna give him the drug. But yeah, I like the Starlight and Butcher story in this episode because it's true that they're very similar. She is kind of like if Butcher had just started his old, path towards, the boys. Mm-hmm. Except that he's always been full of anger as far as we know. Mm-hmm. And she was a nice girl, to begin with, but then stuff happened and she had to toughen up and go through some shit and become someone that she was not to survive. And the person she's becoming resembles Butcher a lot. The fact that she's, she killed someone for Huey and Butcher and, to save everyone. And she has to deal with the guilt. And then she manages to do that really well. Just goes to show that she's accepted that sacrifices have to be made in this situation because it's too late for them to be the good guys. Yeah. And maybe it's going to make her realize that that's also why Butcher acts like this. He's realized it a long time ago that in order for him to survive and win, he had to stoop low to, the other's level and do some crazy shit. Otherwise, he would have been dead a long time ago. So she has no real place to judge him and belittle him for that because he's been through enough shit to explain why he's doing it, It's just that he doesn't give a shit about the personality he shows others, or how mean he is. And I hope that he also learns to be kinder to her because she's in the same boat as he is.
Yeah. Both of them care so much for this little pup. But yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Bond over your love for
Bond
Huey.
over Huey.
Yeah.
Laughed about him.
Laugh about him. Make fun of him.
Make fun of him, yeah.
Just not to his face, because he's going to feel like he's being ganged up on and he's not going to like it.
He's unconscious. That's the best time to do it.
But I thought it was nice to have them bond and actually do something. I liked it when it happened with Mother's Milk and Starlight, and to have it, like, Butcher was the ultimate test. So that was funny.
Yeah, that's nice.
Anyway, that was a very, very good episode. I really, really enjoyed it. I liked that we finally got to see the past of the boys, which I've been talking about since season 1.
We love good flashbacks.
Yes. So hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you want to see the next one right away, it is on Patreon already. You can check it out if you want. The link is in the description.
And if you don't, you can have the next one to be out on YouTube, which will be next week, guys. So we're going to see you in 7 days.
Bye.
Bye, guys.